Principal Secretary for Diaspora Affairs, Ms. Roseline Njogu, recently visited the United Kingdom, where she held a consultative meeting with the Kenyan community at the Kenya High Commission in London.
We are here on a very interesting mission. As you know, our department has quite a big mandate, a 9-point mandate, which I know you're all familiar with. If you're not familiar with it, it's right here. But if you think about the things that we do, we work on 4 big pillars, okay? The biggest pillar that we work on is protection. Our most important and our oldest mandate and our most critical mandate is protecting the rights, welfare, and interests of Kenyans abroad. The second bucket of things we do is what we're doing now, is engagement, right? Talking with the diaspora, finding out what's going on, how are people doing, and importantly, mapping out the initiatives that you're working on. So I was very excited today that we had extended introductions, because not only do we get to know I'm so-and-so, I've lived in the UK for 20 years or whatever, but I get to hear, oh, I'm doing this particular thing for women's empowerment, or I'm doing this particular thing for children, I'm doing this particular thing for students and so on. And mapping those initiatives is really important for us, because then we can plug into the things that you're doing, right? So government doesn't do everything, government doesn't have capacity or budget to do all of the things. But if somebody is doing something to support widows, for example, and we are in any way able to come and be a part of that, even by sponsoring something small, then we want to be able to work with you on those things, right? So engagement is also ensuring that you guys are not left behind as Kenya grows. And the story, you continue to be a part of the story of Kenya. The third part has to do a lot with talent. It has to do with you, okay? And it is a big part of the reason we are here. It is helping find opportunities for Kenyans abroad, whether that is in scholarships, or in jobs, or in building businesses abroad, okay? So helping our talent play in the global labor market, and that's why you've heard about all of the work that we've been doing as far as labor mobility is concerned. You know that we've been negotiating agreements with other countries to make it easier for Kenyans to move into these spaces. That is a big part of the reason why we're here.
She was accompanied by Taita Taveta MP Haika Mizigi, Chair of the Parliamentary Committee on Diaspora Affairs and Migrant Workers, and Honorable Bashir as part of a government delegation focused on strengthening ties with the diaspora. The meeting was hosted by the Kenya Community Consultative Council UK. Chair Agre Kanyaga welcomed guests and introduced Kenyan leaders in attendance.
Yes, for inviting us to this meeting. It shows the commitment that the government has on the diasporas. I think we've come a long way in establishing this kind of relationship, and I think the fact that the government has established purposely a department to deal with us diasporans speaks a lot, and I think we have to utilize that chance as diasporans to make sure that we maximize the opportunities that we have. I want to thank you all for joining us. Your Excellency, the people here today are not just from KCCC, so we've kind of diversified it and extended an invite to other members of the community. So we have students, for example, Lewa is champion of the students here today, and we have a very interesting program with the students. In fact, they are meeting today. I must commend your office, because every Thursday we meet with the education attaché to try and support the students who are coming from Kenya. And this has never happened before, but we're seeing a lot of positive results with that one. So I must commend the department here for that commitment. Your Excellency, we have KCCC leaders here with me. I have 2 leaders. We have Washira Dangi, and we also have our Deputy Chair, Peter Mwangi, who is also our spokesman. I would like to make a request to you, Your Excellency. We've come into this boardroom many times, and we've had a lot of discussions. If you find it fit to just minute what we're talking here, so that next time when we have a meeting like this, we can start from where we can assess what we've talked about and see whether we're making progress. I believe in progress, because I know I'm not the KCCC chair for yourself should be able to see the kind of engagements we've had and what kind of progress we've made. So that's my humble request to you. If we can have a form of a secretariat or a framework or something that will capture what we are discussing here, and then we can assess it with time and in our regular engagement and see where we're going with this conversation. So within KCCC, we have Chair Peter Mwangi, who is a deputy chair. We have Shira Tangi, who is a chair. We have Mukami Jindo, who is representing the Women Empowerment Group. She's on a different tier of KCCC. And we have the students we've recently inducted into KCCC. The other chairs for KCCC are online. Mayor Sally Kimondo is the first black mayor to be elected in Luton and Dunstable area. She's just recently been elected. She's worked as a councillor, and I was looking around to congratulate her. I didn't see her, but she had told me she was going to be here. She's also part of our chair leadership. She's chair of the Luton and Dunstable team. So Kamizana,
His deputy, Peter Mwangi, delivered an official statement from the council highlighting the community's concerns and aspirations.
Statement for Principal Secretary, State Department for Diaspora Affairs, Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs of the Republic of Kenya. KCC UK and the Kenyan community at large takes this opportunity to once again welcome you to the United Kingdom. Honorable PS, it is also refreshing and exciting for Kenyans in the UK to engage with the Diaspora Affairs Department and the government at large. As a representative of our people, KCC UK would like to appreciate the Kenyan Embassy for recognizing our leadership and organizing this meeting between the government and our wider community leaders. This engagement with the government of Kenyan dignitaries presents us an opportunity to discuss important issues that affect our people. KCC UK is therefore very pleased with the government's commitment in engaging the diaspora. Our relationship with the embassy continues to be very strong, and we see a smooth transition following the appointment of Ambassador Catherine Karemu into office. We commend our embassy for making deliberate efforts in engaging with us and recognize that collectively there are areas we can work together to improve service delivery to our people. However, we have also noted some challenges within the embassy. Our ambassador has embraced an open door policy, and very soon we shall be reaching out to you so that we can collectively address local challenges that have been brought to our attention. Our request, Honorable PS, is that where the embassy finds budgetary restrictions, you reassure us support and assistance in helping resolve the challenges. KCC UK has always stated in the past that we are willing to partner with the government and other stakeholders and act as a conduit of information sharing between the government and our people. With the ability to reach the grassroots, we are well placed to take on this role and continue to champion the well-being of Kenyans in this regard in this part of the world. Honorable PS, it is because of our belief that we request this meeting and others like this one be noted so that these conversations do not just end with one sitting, but are continuous between the State Department of Diaspora and in extension to the government and Kenyans in the United Kingdom. 2, this conversation is shared and where possible, open opportunities for Kenyans in the United Kingdom to have their input so that the solutions, if any, reflect the wish of our people. Information sharing and retention of the same is very important and ensures continuity. The effects of establishing a State Department whose main purpose is diaspora affairs has yielded positive results. Notably, opening opportunities for Kenyan workers who come to the UK via the COS program and the nurses, to just mention a few. However, as community leaders, we have noted with concern some of our people struggling to settle here due to various challenges. KCC would like the government to make deliberate effort to reach those of us, those who are struggling, and offer a solution. We would also like the government to consider procedure pre-departure information to clearly enlighten our people of the expectations and challenges in a foreign country. With the establishment of KCC, those coming to the UK for work or studies can be signposted to their communities, where the chair and community members will welcome them and help them settle. Honorable peers, whereas the government has worked hard to create greener pastures for our people, unfortunately, this space has been occupied by extortionists who saw an opportunity to make quick money. KCC is therefore requesting the government to close these loopholes and ensure that Kenyans who get an opportunity to work abroad do not have to pay over the odds. This will ensure that even the less fortunate in our community have a chance to change their livelihood of their families back home. Kenya has always pioneered in various areas of technology, notably M-Pesa, which has turned out to be very successful. We have also witnessed the government making a lot of strides in virtual space. This has, for example, enabled Kenyans in the diaspora attend court cases online, which is quite successful, and which was not the case a few years back. We commend the government for this and many other developments in this area. With the general elections just a few years away, we request the State Department for Diaspora Affairs, working with the IEBC, to assist Kenyans by considering establishing online voting for our people. The challenges witnessed during previous elections, especially around proximity to the embassy and the cost involved, remain unaddressed. This can be a deterrent that stops our people from exercising their democratic rights and executing their civic duties. We would also like to see an improvement of some of the websites where information is shared with Kenyans in the diaspora. The Kenyan High Commissioner website, for example, has some links that are not working, and the Kazi Maju has jobs dating back to 2023 and has not been updated.
Banis Bore from the Kenyan Nurses and Midwives Association praised the State Department of Diaspora Affairs for embracing diversity and inclusion, particularly in engaging professional groups within the diaspora.
I am a champion of EDI. EDI is Equality, Diversity and Inclusion. And I've been doing a bit of work around fighting inequalities in this country. There's a lot to do. And in my head with my diversity, this event is phenomenal, and particularly the diversity in this room. So we don't underestimate the work that the Diaspora Foreign Affairs Office is doing. We are grateful, and thank you for having me.
Kenya and Friends in the Park also issued a statement commending the Ministry for fostering cooperations, development, and mutual understanding within and beyond national borders.
Esteemed members of the diplomatic corps, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is both an honor and privilege to stand before you today and extend my deepest respect and gratitude to each of you for your presence and your continued dedication to fostering cooperation, development, and mutual understanding within and beyond our national borders. This gathering reflects the strength of our shared commitment to dialogue, diplomacy, and collective progress. As we commence today's proceedings, let us do so in the spirit of collaboration, guided by our common values and the responsibility we hold towards those we represent. Thank you.
During the dialogue, PS Roseline Njogu explained why her delegation included 2 members of parliament, emphasizing the importance of legislative support in advancing diaspora priorities.
Commissioner Haika leads or is a chair of the committee called Diaspora Affairs and Migrant Workers Committee in Bunge. These are the people who are really your MPs more than anybody else. Their job is to make sure that the executive is doing its job. Their job is to make sure that the State Department for Diaspora Affairs is really watching out for the welfare and the rights of the diaspora and to advance that through legislation, through the programs, and so I should tell you a little bit about that. Mheshimiwa Bashir is the vice chair of the Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations Committee. And the main job of this committee, but I will not give away the entire story, is they are the ones who are in charge of the budgeting for the Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs, along with other.
MP Haika Mizigi reaffirmed her role as chair of the Committee for Diaspora Affairs and Migrant Workers, stressing her commitment to ensuring diaspora voices are reflected in policy and governance.
My name is Lydia Haika Mizigi. I am a member of parliament for Taita Taveta. I represent Taita Taveta. Those who know, Taita Taveta is on the side of the coast for Kenya. In the National Assembly, I chair the Committee of Diaspora Affairs and Migrant Workers. And the Committee of Diaspora Affairs and Migrant Workers is a new committee in Parliament. It has not been in existence in the previous Parliament. We changed the standing orders 12 Parliament to have this committee in place, and therefore State Department of Diaspora Affairs, that we oversight as a committee. So we oversight the State Department of Diaspora, as PS has said. Sisi ndo tuko kwa shingo yake kila wakati hapa, unaona ako free, lakini tukimuita kule bunge tunamuuliza maswali yenu mingi sana. So today we are here, we have accompanied her because a part of our work is to make sure that all the Kenyans living and working in diaspora welfare is good, and on matters, all the programs and all the policies and matters policies. So we are here to accompany the peers on this program. We have been going around. We have met different groupings, and this group is very different from the ones we have met, by the way. I'm so encouraged on what you're doing. It's diverse, you know, to have different programs and very good programs. Pongezi sana. I'm also encouraged by our mayor here, and she's a lady. Pongezi sana. But then also it's commendable, PS, for the good programs that you put in place, because since we came, we've been following, we've been listening, and that is what we are doing as a committee, because it's a new committee. You cannot just start, you know, we started by listening to, you know, different Kenyans in and out of the country.
Among the questions raised was whether the State Department could assist second-generation Kenyan children in the diaspora with placement in Kenya, and if so, whether parents will be expected to cover the cost of travel, accommodation, and upkeep.
How do we engage our youth? Because we think about how people from Kenya can come, people from Kenya can go places, but how can our children go back with obviously what they've gained from this country and have those apprenticeships? Because I was looking at the agency that you have now, and there's nothing for the youth on the apprenticeship one. Yeah, thank you.
This forum served as a meaningful step toward greater transparency, collaboration, and solution-oriented dialogue between the Kenyan government and its diaspora.
Did you know that the Indian healthcare system was built by diaspora skill and diaspora investment?
Yes.
Occupy this now.
The ministry has moved from the public administration sector in terms of budgeting to the security sector. That comes with some privileges and advantages. But of course, it's just a step. It's just started. So it requires now us as a committee to ensure that it's actualized. Still, despite the fact that Cabinet has approved, but it requires interventions, both from Parliament and our committee, to ensure that that comes to fruition.